Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this talk, or rather, I would call it a sharing on how I lost my stubborn tummy fat and kept it off without starving or strenuous exercise. Okay, so I am just going to set the stage for this evening, right? So, people, I want to thank everybody for trusting me to come and spend time here to listen. How long will the talk last? I was asked about an hour. Normally it's less than an hour, but today I kept it for an hour in case there are questions. I promise to do my best to be as comprehensive as possible, but of course, not everything can be covered in an hour. And of course, some people also ask me, are you going to be selling me something at the end of this talk? The answer is yes. Okay, I will be selling something. I have a program that I've been administering or coaching for almost like what 15 years now. Okay, so at the end, I will be offering the program. If you like, you can join. If you do not like it or do not want it or need it, that is perfectly fine. But whatever it is, I'm going to do my very, very best to give you value in that 1 hour that you spend with me, and share with you how I actually lost the weight and kept it off. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen right now. And are you seeing it okay? James, is it okay? Okay, great. So the topic is 3 secrets to losing stubborn tummy fat without starving or strenuous exercise. These are the two most dreaded things whenever people talk about dieting or losing weight. So since you're going to be listening to me about this topic, I want to share my story and my journey in this area. So I'm Hwee Suan, I'm 64 years old this year, and I've always been pretty slim. I'm quite a tall girl, so I've never had this weight problem until maybe I would say after I gave birth to my son. And the weight that I put on never went off. Worse, it kind of like piled on over the years. And you know how it is, right, ladies? This happens and it's very annoying. But when I reach my 40s, especially mid 40s, the weight not only, the previous weight not only stayed, right? Like more came. And then I started to put on weight around areas that I never had a problem with, like my arms, my legs, and all that. So that's when I said, no, 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 I got to do something. How many of us have been there, right? And then we go all over the place looking for weight loss solutions. You ask your friend, you read newspaper, whatever. So of course, fasting is the usual thing, right? So simple, you don't eat, sure lose weight. Of course. However, when you fast, you will probably lose muscle as well, and you will actually put on fat. So when fasting period stops, right, is when the rebound happens almost instantly. Somebody said go massage. Not bad lah, cause quite relaxing. But as far as fat loss, weight loss goes, it was not effective at all. They did hot wraps, cold wraps. But what actually happens with these wraps is that, you sweat around the places where they wrap you, right? And then, you lose inches lah, because sweat that place. So a friend of mine joke always, he says, you want wraps, you come to my kitchen, it's wrap cellophane around you for free, you don't have to pay for this. So yes, I've been through that. Fat freezing was so promising because it's done by a doctor. I saw the ad in the newspaper, and I actually went. It's very expensive. The stomach area is not one area, it's 4 areas, right? Because it's like top left, top right, bottom right. And then they actually grip that part that you want to freeze. And then they bring the temperature down. And the theory is that the fat cells will like freeze to death. But there's no scientific basis to this, because there's not even measurement. They didn't put me on any machine. I don't even know how much percentage of body fat I had. How do I know whether it has disappeared or not? But in any case, it was about $1,000 a pop. And this was what? Maybe 18 years ago or 15 years ago. So expensive, how to carry on, right? So I only went one time and then I didn't sign any package. Thankfully, detox is always very common. It's just that there are so many out there. Which do you choose? Needles, acupuncture, very, very common. I opted for something called carboxytherapy because at that time, Channel 8 got this show, and then the people there, I went to this doctor, this clinic, and they were doing all this. And it was a real clinic, it was a real GP there. And I actually went to track this clinic down, and went all the way to Bedok to go and do this. And they inject carbon dioxide at high pressure into the skin, and then you kind of bloat up for a bit, and it's very uncomfortable and all that. I think I lost a bit of inches around the waist, but not really weight. But I went for many sessions, very uncomfortable. It's a bit painful. Eventually I stopped lah because it wasn't working. Then keto diet, I went on it for some months, quite a few months, and it was very effective at the beginning. However, it plateaued for a very long time. But what was worse was the side effects. I had constipation constantly. My skin was not good. And then I started to lose hair. Besides that, it's a very difficult diet because it's zero carbs almost, or very little, like 20-30 grams a day of carbs you're allowed. So a lot of vegetables also cannot eat. In fact, fruits are almost like a no unless it's avocado or some oily fruit like that. And then no noodles, no bread, no nothing. So it's very difficult. Hard, when you socialize, and I'm a very social creature. So this was very difficult. And I don't recommend also going on it for a long time. Slimming center was actually, I put a question mark because I never actually went there. A friend actually stopped me in time. But if you know slimming centers, the price range, according to what I saw lah, I searched for it. It's like 2,000 to about 8,000. But the 8,000 may not be the last bit you pay, right? A friend of mine told me that she actually eventually her final bill was like 60,000. I mean, of course, not everyone spends 60,000, but swimming centers are very tempting because they supposedly do for you your weight loss. You don't need to do much, right? So you think, okay, if that's the case, I would pay money for that. However, again, it's expensive, and it may not be sustainable in the long run. So fortunately for me, I found a sustainable way, and I'm going to share more of the principles right after this. But that way actually helped me to lose 10 kg almost, of which 7 kg is fat. So you will hear this quite a bit. I didn't just lose weight, but I lost fat. And you can see I also lost belly fat. And I was able to keep it off and until now, with little bumps along the way, of course, as life happens. So the side effect is the happy story. So everybody here knows that I'm very active and and they think because I'm active, therefore I'm slim. I actually became active only after I became slim, because before that I couldn't really exercise. I was not very motivated to But I started climbing stairs, and on the right, it's me and my son climbing the highest mountain in UK, the Ben Nevis. And indeed, I got so inspired by being active that I decided to climb my first mountain at the age of 53. If I hadn't lost weight, you would never have seen this picture. Sikunyang Tafong is in Sichuan, China. It is 5,025 meters high. Before that, I only climbed Bukit Timah Hill, 164 meters. So I'm a bit mad, a bit gung-ho to go and do this. But that was the start of my mountaineering adventure, and it's been 11 years since. And I've climbed like, 30 mountains. Okay, so yeah, I've done Kilimanjaro in Africa, the highest mountain there. This is the highest mountain in Taiwan. This is the largest cave in the world called Sondong. It's in central Vietnam. This is the highest mountain in Europe called Elbrus. This is Nan Hu. You can see a skip in the years because it's COVID and all that, and slowly you got back to it. Taiwan. This is the highest mountain in Turkey called Mount Ararat, better known as the resting place of Noah's Ark. Yeah, so this is what it looked like. This is Hamta Pass in India, my first time climbing in India in 2025. And then we went back to China in October 2025 because it was our 10-year anniversary of our climb. My group of friends, we call ourselves the mountain tourists. We went back to Sichuan area to climb Langda Xue San, which is Langda Snow Mountain. And then I took up a new sport in my 60s. This is stand-up paddling. And okay, so you can see, right? After I lost weight, I really became very active. But you will soon, I will relate my exercise to weight loss, dieting, and all that, right? Okay, but let's get back to the topic, right? When we try to lose stubborn tummy fat, the common struggles that we face are cookie cutter meals that don't work. Like, eat this only, not that. So if it's too restrictive, it's too much for us, right? We cannot keep for a long time. And then with a very hectic work schedule, how to go and keep on worrying about food, measuring this and that, very difficult. And then ask us to exercise. sometimes it's just too much. Yeah, after a long day's work, or we just find it too tiring. It's too hot, nowadays. And we don't have any motivation. Feeling hungry always is not a nice feeling. Then we end up snacking too much. And then honestly, right, there are so many diet plans out there. Which one is the right one, and for how long do we eat that diet for? Then some of us begin to have injury or medical issues, and that makes exercise very difficult. We don't know how to, we don't know where to start, and the worst nightmare is it rebounds after all that hard work, right? So I just keep to three simple principles tonight to help you get past all these obstacles to achieve your health and fitness goals and achieve a body that maybe you are happy with, that you are proud of. Yeah. So these are the three secrets. Okay. So secret number one. Weight loss is not the same as fat loss. Uh, if you find yourself gazing into the weighing machine and despairing over your weight and your weight only, have to recalibrate, because weight is not the only goal. It must be that we lose fat as well. And here I share the very, very simple signs of weight loss. Input must be less than output. It's like, duh, Hwee Suan, tell us something more chim. But it is the truth. There's no escaping this law, okay? There's no such thing magically you eat a lot and then like what, you pop some magic pill and then you burn everything off without doing anything. It is so. Input must be less than your output. And input is your food and drinks. Output will be exercise and your metabolic rate. So if you're aging, if you are sedentary, that means you work and sit at the desk and all that. A lot of us are like that. Then it's very difficult because your metabolism is shrinking. You have no time, no energy to exercise, and somehow the stress from whatever, and also, we are living in Singapore, right? Most of us are. We've got a lot of yummy food and drinks to tempt us. So if that is the case, what should be your emphasis on? Where should you put your effort into? Is food and drinks. Yeah. 60% actually depends on food and drinks, 30% on basal metabolism, and only 10% on exercise. But exercise can actually help to up your BMR or your basal metabolism. Okay, so that's the relationship there. But equally, foods that you eat can also up your basal metabolism. But the good news is you don't have to run off to the gym, go and get a personal trainer, climb 200 stories, all that. No need. Okay, the exercise that actually all of us just need to remember is NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis works fine, meaning you just be very active. Like now I talk, I also wave my hand, like that. If you can stand up and talk and stand up and work and do housework and all that, it is good enough. And for those who are on my program, I said for a start, if you are not exercising, work your way towards 10,000 steps a day. Okay, but more of that later. So the right approach should be to lose fats and shape lean muscle. The traditional diet actually causes you to lose lean muscle, not what you want, because muscle is your fat burning engine. Muscle is your like metabolic engine, so to speak, right? If you lose muscle, you lose your metabolic rate. It comes down, I mean. If you do the right way, you should be increasing muscle, thus increasing metabolic rate, and then reducing your fat. So remember, this is secret number one. This is the right approach. So you got to be looking at your fat coming down and your muscle going up. So this one is a very stunning visual example. No need to even look at numbers. But if you do look at numbers, this guy didn't lose a bean, right? I mean, 68 kg, sama, same. But the body fat is 17% at the start, but the other one is 10%. His muscle went up from 35.2 to 38.8, and he lost what? 10 cm off his waist. So you tell me, you didn't lose weight, but you get this kind of fat loss, you want or not? Okay, right? You look at his transformation from day 1 to day 91. This is Chris, he lives in Hong Kong, but it's fantastic because he really, really lost fat. And if you look at this illustration of 5 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle, you can see that 5 pounds of fat is more voluminous, right? Actually, muscle is heavier. And fat occupies more space. So some of us, right, they say, hey, I didn't put on weight leh. The scale say I same weight man, or I put on a little bit only. How come my clothes feel so tight? Well, it's really because your body composition may have changed. You may still be 53 kg, but before you were maybe 30% body fat. Now actually you're 35% body fat. Means, remember fat occupying that more space, that the two pictures, yeah. So of course, if you look at this illustration here, we can choose. We definitely know that we want to be more shapely, right? The one on the right. These two people are completely same BMI, even normal, but different shape. Yeah. So someone like that, this lady here, if she puts on the right clothes, you also can't tell she's so-called fat, right? But it's probably her body fat is not low, at the start, and she became shapelier when she lost body fat. So you can see the effect when people lose body fat. Similarly, for Joe Seng, he's 30-year-old in this picture. He lost 6.4 kg, but you can see that the body fat loss is 5.2. That means largely fat loss. And you see V fat here, it stands for visceral fat. So just look at his round tummy here and the flatter tummy with a bit of definition, got some abs coming out, right? Yeah, because he lost visceral fat. And so you will want to actually monitor visceral fat as well, seeing the stomach fat coming down. That is, I would say, the weight loss that we actually want to go after. Okay, Ruth Tan, looking at the shape, is very typical of someone in the 50s lah. So she lost quite a lot of weight. She lost nearly 15 kg, but her fat loss is nearly 11 kg. After weight loss, no more knee pain. She's more energetic, more alert. And that is what also we want, right? We don't want to lose weight and be sickly and look sickly also. I mean, Ruth looks great here. Ruth is a missionary and she lives in Australia now. She can climb 23 stories, and not be breathless, and she gained back her youthfulness. Basically, look at her picture, the one on the left and the one on the right. She's very vibrant and she's looking good lah. Okay, so Gail, young girl like this, come and do weight loss for what? She's not after weight loss. Gail is an athlete. Yeah, she still is very active. She works for the Singapore Canoeing Federation and she's an ultra athlete, I would call her. So what's wrong with her? Her body, okay, what? She wants to be a better athlete. So she came to lose fat and she did. She lost 6.7 kg, of which nearly 5 is fat. She lost visceral fat. She put on muscle. For a lady, 29.5% muscle percentage is pretty high. It is high. It is better than ideal. But she went up to 31.4. And this is what Gail looked like before and after. You can even see visually leaner. Okay, leaner. It's not thin. It's lean and there's muscle there. So we come to secret number 2, which actually is a lot of people's favorite secret and mine. So no need to exercise furiously to lose weight. Good. This is very liberating because exercise is one of the output is overrated. It accounts for only 10% of weight loss. Okay, so it's good news and it's bad news because if you know this secret, you cannot say things like, "Aya, never mind lah, eat lah. Tomorrow then go gym," because it depends on what you eat, right? If you go and like whack at a buffet and all that, your gym session tomorrow not going to do very much to get rid of the calories lah, you know that. So do not overrate exercise as an output. As my friend James would testify. He's here on the talk, and some of you have seen him in my newsfeed because he's my regular exercise buddy. But this is what James looked like at age of 52. And this is a furiously exercising man. He exercises 2 hours a day because he is very athletic. Yeah. But look at his love handles. He cannot tahan because he cannot stand it because he's always been very, very like got 6 abs type lah. So he went for this weight management program, right? The right approach, right? And this is what he looked like between November and May. This is the transformation. If you compare him to his 22-year-old self, at 52, he actually looks even better. And then you ask, lah, is this sustainable? Well, this is him a year later, 7 years later, 14 years later. I wanted to put a picture, but I didn't. But if you have seen him in my latest Facebook post, right, he's at now 72 and participating in the international outrigger canoe competition that is currently on in Singapore right now. So he has sustained his weight loss marvelously all this while, simply because he knew that it was about fat loss. So he lost quite a lot of fat, including visceral fat. And he knew that exercise was a way to keep himself fit, active, increase his metabolism, yes, but it was not the be all and end all of weight loss. Never, never, never. Okay. So this is him. Yeah. I should really update the picture because he's now 72 and looks even better. So Keith got the same issue, like run and run and run, still got that round tummy. Yeah. But his is a very interesting case. His weight loss is 5.3 kg. His fat loss is 6.2. Yeah. But you look at his tummy, you can tell the story already. Very good. Like his fat went down from 9.5 to 7. Body age. This is one thing you will get on the Omron scale. If you ever come to me for a metabolic assessment. The body age is the age which I would say if your body age is 47, you have the health risk associated with a 47-year-old. Then when your body age comes down, of course, health risk it becomes less. So this is simply speaking, right? So this guy runs a lot, cannot lose weight, cannot lose the belly. Yeah. But when he knew how to eat, plus the help of certain supplements and all that, this is what happened. Now, Carl is a really interesting case. He's 42. He's a very busy executive. He's got a high position, regional role and all that. And you know what he achieved? 120 kg. He actually came to Singapore in the year 2008. Between 2008 and the start of this year, 2026 January, he told me he put on 55 kg. 55. This is how good our Singapore food is. But he knew that he had to do something because the signs were terrible. He had sleep apnea, so he had to use the machine. High blood pressure. He's officially pre-diabetic, high cholesterol, high triglyceride, fatty liver, and his cardiologist basically told him he's headed for trouble very, very soon. And Carl decided he had to get help. He looked up one of our coaches, and this is his transformation. And he is a work in progress. Okay, 15 Jan and 18 August. He lost 41 kg in weight, 26.8 kg in fat. It's hypertension, pre-diabetes, fatty liver, high cholesterol, high triglyceride, gone. I just spoke to him yesterday and he said, man, I'm still not done because my visceral fat is still double digit. When he first came to us, his visceral fat was 30. I mean, just now you saw some of the men's numbers, right? It's like 9.5, 10, whatever, right? His is 30. The machine can only measure up to 30. So I told Carl, I said, I suspect you will weigh above 30 when you started because the machine cannot measure more than 30. He said, yeah, I also think so. That's why it's taking some time, even though his weight is coming down, his body fat is coming down, his visceral fat is still not ideal. So for him, the decision to lose weight and fat has great impact on his health, and he is now super, super happy. It's the same with Richard. Richard is from Malaysia, 34 years old, but he looks so old, He's a car workshop owner. He's finding it hard to actually bend down and do his work and all that. But he's like Carl. Over time, he lost 45 kg. Yeah, 45 kg. And, he no longer snores. He's got improved eczema. He's in better shape and he's got 6 packs. So, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT, is what you want to remember tonight, okay? So I'm not saying don't exercise. I'm not saying exercise is not important. I'm saying incorporate exercise into your life because, other than the energy expended, this is the energy expended for all that we do, excluding sleeping, eating, or sports. So, you walk to work, take the MRT, take the stairs in the MRT station, park a little bit further, do housework and fidgeting even when you talk and all that, it really, really helps. So incorporate it into your daily life, yeah? Don't use your children or your helper as a remote controller, huh? Go and take things yourself and all that, because you walk and you spend energy. Now, Susan's another example I love to share because she's got osteoarthritis at the start, right? 49 years old, she was really like, wow, wearing knee guard lah, got walking stick lah, and all that sort of thing. And of course, now with osteoarthritis and the pain that comes with it, she cannot exercise. You go and then she cannot exercise, she puts on weight. So it's like a vicious cycle, right? So what can someone like that do? If she was to depend on exercise, then it's a goner, right? However, she did not. She learned the proper way to manage her weight, and she lost something like 8 or 9 kg, and that completely changed her life because she didn't need the stick anymore. She started walking first, started slow running, and eventually can even do stand-up paddling. See, this is Susan. Yeah, I see the knee guard here and the stick. Stand-up paddling is not just standing up. When standing up, you got to kneel sometimes. Then from kneeling position, you got to get up. All on the board wobbling in the sea is just not the easiest of sports. But she is now able to do this, right? So a changed life. Okay, so we come to secret number 3, which is another one. Very, very happy one. We don't lose weight by eating less, but by eating more. Okay? Wow, very happy, right? To hear that, right? Most of us. Because we don't like dieting. But the truth is dieting is not good for us. It reduces our willpower, it lowers our energy, upsets our mood, actually makes us grumpy. And then we end up craving for food. And the worst thing is it's a yo-yo effect. Why? Because what you lose by dieting just means eat a lot less. Just eat very, very little of everything. Then what happened? You lost lean muscle. If you lose muscle, you can gain weight easier, right? More easily. So you lose, you put on, you lose, you put on, and then eventually you end up with weight, what? More than what you started. So we don't want that. Okay, so this is another illustration. So supposing you have a diet, now you eat 2,000 calories a day, right? And then, you diet. Diet means eat less of everything lah. Protein less, fats less, starch less. But what happens? Yes, you reduce fat storing food, but you also reduce fat storing, but you also have less fat burning because your protein is not there, and all that, right? So this is not ideal. Then you tell me, how do you want me to adjust my eating like that? Because you see, calories in must be less than calories out. And usually to reduce calories, we just eat less of everything. But no, we just adjust to this equation. So you reduce your calories by 800 by reducing starch, by reducing fat. I say reduce starch. I didn't say eliminate. So this is not keto diet. So reduce starch, reduce fat, but increase protein and fiber. Yeah, increase. So this is the optimal way to eat lah. So that's what we mean by eat to lose weight. Yeah, eat to lose weight. The volume of food that you eat actually could end up being a lot. I got two clients now, they are sisters. They're both in their late 60s. So I just saw them and I said, hey, are you okay or not with this eating plan and all that? And I say, of course, I'm very happy. Why not happy? Eat so much. Said, eat so much, she actually said that. Actually, what they're eating is a well-balanced and a wide variety of food. Actually, one of them actually never even ate breakfast before. But if she did, it was the wrong kind of breakfast lah. So we're talking about the right quality and the right quantity. Making use of what we call the 3-3-3-3 eating rule, which I will teach in detail for those who are actually on the program. But I will share with you what we mean by 3-3-3-3. So we eat 3 meals a day. No skipping. Then 3 meals a day, right? Then 3 portions of veggies, 3 portions of protein, and 3 portions of carbo. So what happens to fruit? Fruit, we say 1 to 3 portions, okay? You don't need to stuff 3 portions of fruit because fruit is also sugary, right? So a bowl like this is fine, but you don't have to how to say, eat ang moh food lah, huh? People think must eat Western food or like go to those salad bar all the time. No, look at this, the variety here. And many people actually eat Asian food as well, right? But what you want to notice here is that there's a generous portion of protein. There's also equally generous portions of veggies. And the variety of protein is a lot. You got meat, you got tofu, you got seafood, um, all sorts of protein, right? Even if you're a vegetarian, not a problem at all, okay? You will find enough sources of protein to fuel yourself. But of course, you notice the carbo is very measured, it's there. But it's not, you don't see a huge plate of fried rice with a little bit of meat at the side. It's not that way, okay? So that's the first thing you notice. No starving for sure. You go out, no problem. You can choose the kind of foods, the cuisine that is friendly to your plan, and then you can build habits now by studying the menu, choosing places that it's not going to end up like oily or carbs heavy and all that, especially during the time that you are trying to lose weight. After you get to your the weight that you want, of course, you can have days, meals where you just eat whatever you want, just like my friend Linda. She is a very interesting case because I would never have thought she would want to come for weight loss. She surprised me, but the thing is, she's exactly doing what I just said in the first sequence. She is after fat loss and visceral fat loss. So this is her on the first day. She paiseh, I don't take her face, it just shows the back, but you can see the folds. But 9 months later, look at her body. But the interesting thing is, this is her just yesterday. So we have an app, that will help you to keep track for the longest time. And you can see here is 503rd day. Of course, she's not on the program anymore, so to speak, but I still continue to monitor her because she puts her stats in the app. Yeah, she's not buying stuff and all that for weight loss, no. But you see her weight loss is sustained at 9.9 kg. Yeah, I mean, call it 10 huh? But the body fat is minus 10%, minus 10.3%. That is very significant, visceral fat now from 7 to 3.5. Yeah. And her skeletal muscle went up. So this is what we want. Minus weight, minus body fat, minus visceral fat, plus skeletal muscle. I didn't show the rest, but it will be plus metabolism, and her body age will also be coming down, and the shape is very, very obvious. Yeah. So many of my clients continue to have this habit of looking at their statistics, and that's one other secret now, by the way. You cannot guess at your weight, right? Well, maybe weight you can still guess, but you cannot guess body fat percentage and visceral fat. Your visceral fat is very invisible one, it's inside one. Maybe you can feel your stomach growing bigger, but honestly, measurement is the best way, right? And Junwen, you just look at his picture. He's now 67. And that picture, the last picture on the right, he's 67-year-old self. Plays soccer, I don't know, is it 2 times or 3 times a week? At 67. Yeah, but he was like that and he thought it was fine. I think at that time he was about 82 kg. Now he's probably what, 76 or something like that kg, but not thin, but very, very muscular. So we mind the quality of food in this program, right? What to eat, those things that are high in nutrients, low in calories. If those are not very nutritious and mid to high calories, we eat in moderation. Those things that are little nutrients, we call them empty calories, like with sugar, alcohol, fats, we say eat least or avoid. So there's no weighing of food. We use the hand to measure. Your hand, not my hand or anybody's hand, right? So we will teach you how much veggies to eat. Usually it's just covering the whole hand like that. Then protein is the palm, the thickness. And then the carbs is just a cupped hand. Okay, so these are some actual food that people eat. So it is so nicely presented. I took a picture here. Yeah, and of course, some people will go for treats. So this is a steak dinner while on the program. Yeah, they went to a steak house. And this this man is English lah, he was very happy, happily measuring his beef. I think a bit extra lah, but never mind. Yeah. So yep, this is okay. So I'm going to give you a could be maybe you're not very young anymore. Maybe nobody's doomed to be fat. Okay, just because you're older, just because your family are not slim doesn't mean you cannot lose weight. This is an important word because it's epigenetics. So when we talk about eating plan, habits, when we talk about supplements, actually it's related to epigenetics because the choices that you make can actually change the way that your genes are expressed. When we grow older, the genes that help us to have more muscle, they become less expressive. The genes that make us store fat, very expressive, right? So this is why we say metabolism goes down when we are older and all that. Is because at the genetic level, these changes are happening. But the good news is you can change the way your genes are expressed. Not your genes, if you got black eyes, you got black eyes, But you can change the way your genes are expressed. I mean, if you look at the bees in a hive, the worker, the drone, the mature queen, they are all genetically identical, but they look very different, right? I mean, the queen bee is very fertile. She's very large. She lives very long. But not the worker bee, right? Because why? Of the food that they eat. They are genetically identical, but the genes are expressed differently because of their environment. And that big environment, or the environmental factor, is the diet. So if you are twins, for example, right? Identical genes, but you can vary vastly in weight, and that's very logical about how you think about it. If you eat very badly, or you live in a very different climate or environment, even if you're identical, when you like if you get separated or something, one lives in a terrible part of the world where it's very poor, it's got very bad condition, and the other one lives in a very developed country with good conditions, and they meet like 20 years later, they will look vastly different. I mean, they may have the same features, but they will have aged differently, right? So at this juncture, right, I'm going to be sharing, if it's okay with you, right? I'm going to be sharing about the program that I actually use to help people to systematically lose about 10% of their weight. I say we always set a goal for about 10% of their weight, and we set a time frame of 90 days. So I have talked a bit about the eating plan. So there are three pillars to this program: the science-based products, the eating plan, and the active lifestyle. Okay. So I'm going to now spend a bit of time talking about the products. These are ingredient blends based on the latest science and they're clinically studied. They're not difficult to take at all. I'll just go through them very quickly, okay? But if you want these things in detail later, I am happy to send just this part to you, huh? But the first thing is something called the jump start, and its name suggests that it helps you to jump start and get better results in metabolism, lean muscle, and appetite management. Okay, so this is a drink. You drink it in the morning. It has prickly pear, red orange, pomegranate juice, concentrate powder, and saffron. The taste fruity, but no sugar lah, huh? Then this one is my edge. It is also a drink. The taste herbal because it has mulberry leaf and guar gum, and it's basically a carbo and sugar blocker. Okay. I mean, we all still want to eat our carbs. We like our, carbs and all that. So we want to actually get a bit of help to block that. CS Control is a capsule once a day, only one capsule. It supports a feeling of fullness. And it's actually a mood regulator, Yeah. It's saffron stigma extract. Yeah. Improve blood sugar regulation as well. MC Complex 2 a day. It helps to maintain lean muscles for supporting fat loss, and combined with the proper diet, it actually helps your metabolic rate thermogenic effect, muscle recovery. So this is moringa, curry leaf, and turmeric. And incidentally, these things are very good for anti-inflammation as well. Yeah, and also helps to reduce water retention. Remember we talk about muscles. Most of us tend to undereat protein, especially in this part of the world. If you go to the hawker center and you have fishball noodle for lunch, you are basically eating, I think, not even 5 grams of protein. Because fish ball is not real fish, right? It's a lot of flour and additives and all that. So we need adequate protein for muscle synthesis, okay? And there is a protein included in the program. It's powered by whey protein, vitamins and minerals, fiber and fats. Okay, it has got leucine, which is a branch chain amino acid that is shown to play a role in helping you to synthesize muscle in your body. So this is blended with water once a day. Life Pack is an antioxidant, one of the best components I feel in the program. I still take this on a daily basis. I've never stopped taking it since I knew about these products in 2002. So this helps to improve your antioxidant defense network and protect against free radicals. But in short, you don't want to lose weight and then be like sickly and all that. And this thing ensures that you really stay tip-top. Okay, so there were many clinical studies done, and I'm not going to go into it, not that I even have time. But if you just look at the box on the bottom right-hand corner, this is quite interesting because in 12 weeks, right, 98% of these subjects, they actually saw weight loss. 95% were satisfied with the program, rated 7 to 10 on a 10-point scale. And that is actually pretty high. The other thing to note, of course, is that it is HSA certified. Many people are concerned about safety when they pop pills to do so-called weight loss. Now, so we voluntarily send everything to HSA to certify that these are free from banned substances, okay? So no harmful substances, no banned substances. So this is also consecutively for 8 years, the #1 weight management and well-being brand in Singapore. So it's sold as a system like that lah, huh? So some things to look out for lah, huh? If you are on weight loss product and you want to be safe, you got to choose things that are natural lah, herbs and food extract. They should actually help you to manage insulin because your spikes and troughs and all that, you cannot have wild swings. It's not going to help fat loss. Return youthful metabolism must be a yes. It must help you to retain muscle, not lose muscle. Carb and sugar blocker is always very helpful. Okay, and this one is the one. It got to help you build habits that help you keep the weight off. And you need to be eating real whole foods, not processed stuff, not stuff that keeps coming out of a packet that you keep having to buy. And then, I mean, when do you return to real food, right? No, we want to eat real food. Okay, so this is a snapshot of me when I started. That's on the left, and me on the right now. Okay, so it's just so nicely happened 46 and 64. So if you talk about sustainability, you talk about vitality, this thing has really given me all that lah, huh? So it comes like that as a genetic-based system. It is not the cheapest thing on earth. Neither is it the most expensive thing, okay? So it comes with an eating plan. You've got support, tips, applications, talks, and the most important thing is the coaching for 12 weeks. Coaching meaning I will actually look at every single meal that you eat because you will send it to me via WhatsApp. Okay, I don't really put people in a group because it could be quite personal, you know, what you eat and then the comments that we exchange. So it's actually one-to-one, yeah. So yeah, like I said, not the cheapest thing on and not the most expensive. But how much is it worth? The system, meaning all the supplements, the retail price is 3058. And we need you to buy the Omron Karada because that is the one that measures the body fat percentage, muscle percentage, visceral fat, and so on, right? So that's 219. And all these things are actually included. And we value these things to be about 5625. Okay. But our offer, of course, is to help you to get to the system at what we call the wholesale price. So you pay 2140 plus a special price for the Omron Karada, and of course, everything else is included. So we are talking about 90 days of guided metabolic reset for 2307. Okay, 2307. Are there any costs other than this? No. If all you buy is this, that's all that you need. Okay. So this is 2307 for the entire system. Some people opt for an upgrade. So there's a put this up front now, and they say, I want a gut reset program as well, because many people believe that you want to fix your weight. Sometimes your gut no good, you got to fix the gut, right? You might have a irritable bowel syndrome, or you might have leaky gut and all that. So the 949 is 180 days worth of an anthocyanin supplement that's designed to support gut and metabolic health, including support for healthy visceral fat level. So you can opt for the gut and weight reset program. Okay. So if you are ready to start after hearing all this, that's amazing, and that's fine. I'm very, very happy. So you just if you haven't got my WhatsApp number, you can take this number down and you can WhatsApp me later. And then I'll just get on a short call with you to get you first of all started. Yeah. So we can arrange for that one to happen. Yeah. So many of you are hearing this for the first time and you're like, not ready to decide yet, leh. I mean, that's also fine. Okay. But for listening in and for kind of like being in touch with me on social media and all that, I also want to give a gift to you. So I would love to give you a complimentary metabolic health assessment. You can choose in person or online. Okay, I know it sounds weird, but like how online, what do you do? Online, I can only do verbal. I health and weight review you by asking you questions, your eating habits, and then I'll guide you on your next best step. Yeah. In person, I can actually put you on the machine, of course, and also do an antioxidant scan for you and give you your body composition analysis and also review your current eating habits and at least give you key recommendations on what you can focus on next. Okay. So if you're ready, you can WhatsApp me. If you are ready, but you need some information, also no problem, WhatsApp me. This is my number in case you missed it. But if you can't decide and you are happy to maybe talk more on Zoom or meet me and all that, fine, no problem. You just need to scan this QR code. I'll leave it here for now. And then you book your assessment. So the QR code leads you to a Google form, that's all. And the Google form actually just ask me for some details and then I can contact you back lah. That's basically it. So actually, it's well within 1 hour. It is now 8:51. I've said all I needed to say. And I'm going to stop share very soon. So if you are scanning, please get this out first. And we have time, and I'm happy to answer questions if any. You can type your questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and just ask directly. If you are done and you want to leave, please feel free to do so, no problem. Yeah, so I will stop share right now, okay? And see whether there are any questions in the chat first. No, I don't see any. Wait, let me just get rid of myself as a spotlight. Okay, so yeah, I see some names there that I recognize. So does anyone have any questions? Yeah, if not, we can just end tonight's session. Anybody, any questions? I might stop recording first.